Okay, all right, let's get started again. Continuing on with Raven, creating art over 70. Let's get busy. Just trying to. Yeah, sorry, painting during the daylight hours. I have a tendency to keep the mic off because sometimes there's activity in the background and I listen to music with headphones and I don't always hear what's going on in the background, so I don't really want to capture or try to capturing it as that background music or make it uncomfortable for a wife in the house moving around, people moving around. So it's a lot I want to say, but during the day I'll probably be a little more quiet and just focus here on the details in this particular part of the painting. And just try to have some good quality music in the background.
see.
Okay. Well, I think I got it. I think I'm there. I think I've gone as far as I want to take the painting of Raven. Ah, it was very, very complex, and it was a challenge and enjoyable all the way, the full journey. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Um, wow, so much on it. Yeah, I had stepped back, and what I did, this little extra portion, I stepped back, and I always step back and take a look at the piece. I had started a little bit too high. I had marked it off too high. I guess I was sitting lower than I actually thought I was, and when I marked it too high. So it ended up causing me to push what I really wanted to paint higher than a better centering into the paper. I should say centering, like in the thirds of the paper, a better layout into the paper. So I was sitting back and I was watching it, and I was sharing it with my greatest fan and my best critic, my wife, and I have her sit and always take a look at the pieces that I do, and she looks at it from a different eye than what I'm looking at, and I really appreciate her feedback. And so the first thing she said when she sat down is like, well, it really needs to go down further. So she noticed that instantly, even though my thought was I would just fix that little error in the framing process. When I put it into a frame, I would fix that error. And it was an error, but I didn't let it stop me. You never let that stuff stop you. You just keep on going, you just keep on pushing until you get what it is you're trying to accomplish. So she said you need to bring it down. So in the last little section here, you saw that's what I was doing. I was just bringing the rest of Raven here. Let me get my face out the way. In here. So I brought down some more of the reference into the picture. Just to give it a little bit more length, and filling out the sheet of paper. So that's what I did. When I first started, if you remember, I wanted to use the golden ratio here, and so in the golden ratio, it took it to where I was painting. The amount of surface area I was trying to capture was within this golden ratio here, because the key point of it is the right in here where the eyes are, and that's what I was really focusing on, the key point in the eyes with the glasses, encompassing the nose area, and so then from the mouth down to this portion, that's the larger part of the detail. It's not so much the condensed part of the detail. So that's what I was capturing when I was doing that, using the golden ratio here. See, this is the larger part of detail, and this is the more condensed part of detail, and this here is the fluent kind of flow part of detail. So that's all I was doing, is capturing them certain sections of the golden ratio in the painting. However, because of where I started, I wasn't able to maintain that golden ratio. I don't think it really hurt it to go down any further. But it did take away slightly from the golden ratio concept of a composition, is what I was trying to reach here. And then on the other part, on the garment mask. Oh, and understand, I think I was saying it a little incorrectly earlier when I was calling. I think I was saying map, and I was trying to edit it in the transcripts, and it just didn't change what I was saying. So it is a garment mask. Yeah. So just to correct it. And so these are the colors that within the garment mask, gives a range of colors, and I selectively chose some of the colors in that range to get a homogeneous piece, colors that fit together well and just do what they're supposed to do, piece. And so I selected more into the bluer and the purple ranges, and then I hopped over here into the oranges and the yellow ranges for the hair and the glasses and the jewelry for the orange ranges. Okay, the the blouse area here is still a purple. It's kind of a mixture of a purple, kind of a plumish type purple, more in this range here. So I was trying to stay within the ranges of the garment mass, and I think I did relatively well with that. And so here we are. Okay. So there we go. That's Raven. It was very challenging and a fun experience and journey. Hope you shared it well. I want to dedicate this. I want to dedicate this piece to Raven. I met Raven a couple of times briefly, because Raven sings in the choir with my wife. They sing in a homeless choir let me rephrase it, a choir that raises a lot of money to support the homeless population. And so that was the first time I saw Raven. And so when I saw Raven, I go, man, I really would like to capture Raven on paper, on canvas, paint. And so, I was selectively getting pictures, and I asked my wife, I said, hey, baby girl, can you get me some pictures of Raven? And so she comes home with some pictures of Raven, and she gives them to me. However, they were not, what can I say? They were not opposed or positioning of the head and the face with the expression that I was looking for. And so this last time, they were having a podcast function going on, talking about, the length of time in the choir. Well, anyway, so I asked my wife, I said, well, is Raven going to be there? Because I took her to this function. I said, is Raven going to be there? She goes, well, I'm not sure. I think so. I said, okay, if Raven's there, maybe I could get some pictures. However, I didn't say, tell Raven I want to get some pictures. And so I was, come towards the end, and I had gotten back to the car, and I was waiting for her. And then here she comes, her and Raven. They come walking up together, hand in arm in arm. And I'm like, oh, I was kind of like shocked. I'm like, oh, there's Raven, type of a thing. And so I said, Raven, can I just take some photos? I'd really like to do a piece, a painting of you, and I'd like to have some photos. And Raven was like, okay. So Raven did some poses, some different changes. They're actually standing together in all of the shots that I took. But I was able to get this particular one, and I really liked the expression and the way the face was situated and the head, even though I raised the tilt a little bit because I wanted Raven to look up just a tad bit more, not a lot, but just a tad bit more, so I could really show the expression. And I lightened up the glasses and the shadowing in the eye area, so I could just bring some of the eyes out. I didn't want to just darken them all the way. Doing the glasses was a challenge, covering over, getting that actual reflection. So what I was trying to do is since I didn't want the shadows so dark, I was trying to use reflective light, meaning that light that's coming down and then bouncing off the glasses and then illuminating the shadow areas, what I was trying to do here in this piece. So there we go. Let me pause for a second here. Okay, so anyway, I was kind of shocked, and so I really don't know Raven that well, and for Raven to say, sure, go, I think that said a lot for the character of this person. Not only does this person spend an awful lot of time singing, trying to raise money for the homeless population, and Raven has an incredible voice too. If you live in the San Diego area, I would highly recommend checking out the choir voices of the city, and maybe you'll get an opportunity to meet Raven in person and see what I'm talking about. I admire Raven, and what really drawed me to Raven in the first place was in this society we live in. It's not very easy to function and be unique and be what you want to be, and Raven does exactly that. With the dress, with the jewelry, with the piercing, with the hairstyle, all that says, hey, I'm Raven, and this is my own personal uniqueness, and I admire that. I never really had, myself personally, I never really had that type of strength that it takes to really just to be out there. I don't want to say non-conformist, but a little different than how society sees you should be, and function well. And any person that I see or have met that is able to do that is awesome to me, just totally awesome. Because I chose, and I don't want to use this term lightly, the less restrictive route, meaning haircuts, shaving, professionally dressed, that direction in order to function and advance my career. And so when I meet people like Raven, and my oldest son has that same type of personality with the dreads and out there functioning and just being who he wants to be, not what society says you should be in order to be successful along with the rest of us. And you just have to give that to them. And I give an awful lot of props, and I am totally, totally thankful, very, very thankful that Raven gave me this awesome opportunity and pleasure to do a painting. Okay, I'm getting way off there. So anyways, I brought it in. So what you saw me do here is bring in the background. So didn't try to get too much detail in the background. The background is just there for composition, literally for composition. And so I don't want anyone to focus on the background. Like you saw in the ratios, this is where the focus is of the painting. That expression, the essence of what is Raven. That's the focus of the painting, right there in that area. Okay, so I think I want to give some accolades. First of all, I want to really throw out some really appreciation to my daughters, my wife, some friends and family who some do know I painted and drew them, and some do not know that I painted and drew them. But I'm thankful. And when I was sharing some of my earlier stuff with my daughters, they were not like, oh, well, it's nice, Dad, and just put it away. They were really, 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 truly supportive and said, yeah, do more. Even though I know when I look back at it and I see it sitting on their shelf in a frame, I was doing the kind of eggy shaped lips. The noses weren't really noses. I got the ears and things relatively well, and I was capturing the eyes to some degree. And so now when I paint eyes and the mouth, I approach it differently, as you see. I approach the nose area, the eye area, and the mouth area with the negative shapes. Meaning I try to capture what are the forms that help our eyes identify that is a mouth, that is a nose, and that is the shadows and the light. And so I try to capture those negative shapes. And as you saw when I worked on Raven, that's what I did. And so I never sat down and painted the mouth directly and then worked around it. I painted what was around the mouth, and the mouth just popped out and said, here I am mouth. So negative space is good technique to use when you're doing portraits and, well, when you're doing anything, literally, that negative space. Don't forget it. Okay. Okay, and so the accolades to all the people, thank you so very, very much. You know, I have sketches of a number of people that I know. They don't know I've drawn them, but I did that, and I would recommend to any one of you is to do the same thing, because for me, it was easier to paint what I was really familiar with. Like, I know my daughters, right? And so anytime I see my daughters or in a crowd, for example, I could pick out my daughters because you just know their features that well. They're kind of etched in your mind's eye, in your memory. And so when I sit down to paint them, that helps me. That stored reference helps me, that I have stored about friends and family and my daughters and those type of things. And so always practice with what is familiar to you, and you should do relatively well when you do your portraits. Okay, the last little accolades I like to give out to Aaron Blaze once again over at creatureartteacher.com. Very influential in my painting, the development of my craft. And remember, this is not paid promotions. I don't get any kickback. This is a sharing thing for you to go and check them out if you want. Then Joseph Daniels over at Udemy, of course. Then there's Colin Bradley over at YouTube, and then there's Riznos Art. I never really pronounced that name well, but it's Riznos Art on YouTube, and he's incredible. He teaches so well, and if you just check him out, you can learn a lot. And he puts an awful lot on YouTube, so that's a blessing in itself also. So anyway, I think that's it for this piece of creating art over 70s by Signed Rufus. It has been a pleasure. It has been an incredible journey, and I truly paint with passion. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next piece. All right, let me put a signature on this. There you go. Oh, sorry, good people. I was reviewing the last couple of videos I did, and I kind of noticed that the painting capture was out of focus. I'm like, oh my goodness, how could I miss that? And how could I have not checked that? So I recorded this quick one so you can see the final piece in focus of Raven. Thank you so much for watching. Creating art over 70 with passion. Signed Rufus.